think you should pay attention to Perplexity AI, and here's why. It's slowly replacing Google and ChatGPT for me and many other people. Jeff Bezos personally invested in this app, along with Nvidia and many other well-known Silicon Valley investors. Why? Well, I think he invested in this company for the same reason he invested in Google back in 1998, and the same reason he started Amazon 4 years before that. Let me show you what Perplexity does, and see if he can spot what that reason is really fast. Here's the important thing to understand. In the year of our Lord 1994, the online advertising revenue globally was $0.00 until someone clicked the first ever clickable banner ad. Then the online ad spending went on a face-melting upward tear and clocked in around $365 billion last year. Meanwhile, a lot of print revenues went down fast, and right now, the headlines are saying that many publishers are laying off people. Business Insider is laying people off. Los Angeles Times laid off people with the billionaire owners, saying they can no longer lose 30 to 40 million per year. Supporting the paper, layoffs are happening at Condé Nast Vogue. Sorts Illustrated, the music website, Itch Forecast closed. U-Shop, Vox Media is cutting, Jezebel shutting down, Vice Media is shutting down, and many more. Meanwhile, Google ad revenues are growing every year. Here's a chart showing skyrocketing online spend versus falling newspaper ad revenue for print and digital. Now there's a new tech wave that might again reshuffle how we access information, and that's AI, specifically LLMs now. I don't know which company or companies will emerge on top, but I think Perplexity is showing what that next stage of evolution will look like. Alright, so here's Perplexity. So it's basically a search engine. Just click on here, search for anything pretty much just like you would on any other search engine. So the reason I just saw the figure AI, the robotics companies, they were in talks with OpenAI about some deal. And I think Microsoft was in there too. Now the options here is one focus. This allows us to specify where to look for this information. And this is pretty cool. We'll dive into that in a little bit. Attaches for attaching various images, text, PDFs. Copilot is kind of like a chatbot that allows you to talk back and forth with your searches. And normally you get just a handful per day. And then if you upgrade to the Pro, you get think close to 600. It looks like I have 582 left today. That let's just hit play and see what happens. Oh, it's understanding the question. So it pulled in 4 sources, or rather 3 sort of main sources. One is the Figure AI website. So it understood with Figure AI is by reading the website. And yes, this is exactly the story that I briefly saw the headline, Figure AI in talks with Microsoft and OpenAI, right? And so it has these news sources, as well as looks like 11 more that we can look at. Business Insider verdict seeking alpha mispower. User YouTube. Reuters. This is, I would say, a pretty good collection of resources. I mean, some are better than others, but I feel like this. If I was doing this research, I would build probably like a similar list as I was searching for it. And so the answers with Figure AI. A start specializing in the development of humanoid robots is reportedly in talks with Microsoft and opening it to secure $500 million in a funding round, which would, if successful, put it at $1.9 billion. But it's not finalizing, and it could collapse. And so the important thing to understand about Perplexity is that it's not sort of using its memory, it's not making stuff up. Now it has different models that it uses. It can use GPT 3.5, GPT-4, and it has Claude on there as well as many others. But it's basically designed to search for that information and summarize that information from the web pages and sources that it finds, which means that it's real time. There's a lot less chance of hallucinations because it's not sort of forced to give its answer from its training data. And God knows what that could reduce, how the founder explains it. Everything that it writes is supported by sources. None of it is, none of it is. It just like freestyling what it comes up with. if that makes sense. So these are the sources, and I apologize if you can't see them. So this is Red.com, this is Bloomberg. So if I click on them, this is Red.right, Figure AI, and talks with Microsoft and OpenAI for funding. As you can see here, like these numbers that I'm looking at, it's pulling them exactly from there. Oh, it's not guessing. It's not making it you, it's pulling it from that website. Here's Bloomberg.